I'm Bob.
I'm Kelly. We're happy you've chosen a gazebo kit manufactured by Cedarshed Industries, created with quality Western Red Cedar.
We're here to help you with the assembly process.
We will highlight the areas in which homeowners may experience difficulties. However, this video is no substitute for your manual. Cedarshed's products come bundled in modules, giving you many options to personalize your gazebo.
Well, Kelly, what we want to first do is we want to find out where our gazebo is going to live. Because once it's up, it's up. So you want to refer to your manual, find out what lot size or site size is required for your gazebo, and then we're going to take that area and level it as near as possible.
Okay.
What you need to do is identify the components required by referring to your manual. You'll find that the rim joists and the headers are exactly the same dimension. One is graded for face, one for edge. What you want to do is look at all your rim joists, take the nicer ones, set them aside, and use them for headers, because you're going to be able to see both faces of that later on. So the ones a little more knotty, or they might have a little bit of wane on them, or a little splint or split, use them for your rim joists.
Why screws, Bob?
Well, mostly for the ease of assembly. Screws are also stronger than nails. However, these products are designed to be assembled with either nails or screws. We're just going to tack these together now.
Okay, place a long floor joist into position. See how the angled cut fits perfectly into the angle created where the rim joists meet? Screw it in, then do the rest. Once they're all nailed, go to the center. Lift the boards slightly and drop in the core block, like this. Make sure the top of the core block and the top of the long floor joist are flush, then attach them.
In the four-sided model, the joists run in one direction, so refer to your manual for placement.
Line up the short floor joist to the correct place on your rim joist. Lay them all into place so they're flush with the rim joist, and attach them. Make sure your blocks are level. A trick is to level the outside ones first.
The best way to do that is start on your outside corners and work your way in.
At your doorway, place an extra support block under the rim joist. And remember, the blocks don't come in the kit. If you have the screen kit, attach the screening to the top of the joists. If you have the screen kit and you purchase it after construction, attach the screening and cut a trench to put the leading edge into. Now that the floor joists are in place, it's time to affix the decking.
Don't forget, all materials are graded for one good face. So before you start laying your decking down, look at your boards, find the nicer face, and have that faced up.
Open your bundles and set them out in triangles. Select all the longest boards. Lay them on the rim joist overhanging 1/2 inch. The ends of the decking boards should line up right on the center of the long floor joist.
Don't drive it all the way home, because we want to go all the way around the outside. Make sure that we have really close to the same overhang over our rim joists, and our joints line up perfectly here. When we get to the other side, we'll see if we still have a 1/2 inch overlap. If it's a little bit less or a little bit more, that's okay, but if it's too far out, we'll have to move these just a wee bit.
Keep going around until they're all tacked in place. Select the next board length and tack it into place. There we go.
You want to make sure that you leave a little gap between each row and just tack them down.
Keep going around until they're all tacked in place, ring by ring. Then from the outside in, nail all the boards down until you reach the center. Drop in the center, nail it down, and onto the walls.
If you have a 3-season gazebo, please skip this section and refer to your owner's manual.
In your package, have a number of wall components. Tongue and groove, or balusters. No matter what, the following principles apply. Collect all your rail fillets and balusters. The kit has extra balusters, so don't be alarmed. You'll need a spacer block for quicker construction, or you can refer to your manual for the measurements.
We're going to start attaching our rail fillets to our balusters. We'll use our spacer block. We'll start from the end. And we want to put 2 nails in each baluster so this prevents the baluster from twisting in the rail later on. Take our spacer block, move it over one. Next baluster, we'll drive in 2 nails, we'll carry right down this side. Then we'll go to the top side of the balusters using our spacer block and do exactly the same thing. We'll take the bottom rail, lay it on the ground. We've finished nailing our fillet rails to our balusters. And they're just going to fit nicely in that groove all the way down. And we're going to use short little nails to tack this baluster to the rail. Make sure they're not long because they'll come through the top of your rail, or in this case the bottom of the rail. But when you put your top rail on, for sure you want to make sure that your nails are short enough not to go through your finish.
There we go.
And that's one finished rail section with balusters. Complete all the rail sections and set them aside. Follow the same procedure for the top baluster skirting and set them aside. Continue on and do the remaining rail sections. Thank you. We've already pre-assembled the tongue and groove panels here. We've had to cut the ends here so you have a flat cut so you don't have a tongue or a groove on either side. We've attached little fillet strips that come in your kit for a spacer that'll fit exactly in your rail grooves. Just like that. Perfect.
Identify your left and right posts.
What you want to do is put your posts in pairs, both flat sides together, bevel edges out. Make sure your notches are in the same direction.
Mark your rail sections by using your rail support block as a template. Sandwich the rail sections between the posts and attach them like so. Once you've finished all the sections, you're ready to tie your walls together.
We might want to make sure that they're flush and we're using those pencil lines.
When you complete them all, you can tie your wall together. Line up the angled cut over the seam created by the flooring. When placing the next section, its angled cut should sit flush with this one. Continue going around until your gazebo wall is up. I'm gonna put that in there, Bob?
Yeah. If you happen to have a post that has a little bow in it, you want to make sure you always put it against a straight post.
There we go.
Perfect.
These 2 extra angled posts are to support the header to go over the door, and Bob's going to put them on now.
If you've purchased an all-season kit for your gazebo, the basic construction will be exactly the same as for the balusters and spindle rail systems. However, there'll be many extra parts included. Filler strips, there'll be fascia boards for between the front of your posts, there'll be window sills, windows, hinges, but we want you to refer to your manual for detailed instructions for assembly on that section. Kelly, would you like to show them some of the features of this?
Well, with your windows, being that it's an all-season one, in the summer, if you choose to get the air blowing through, you can either open it or you can actually take your window right out by just sliding the hinges up. Don't be alarmed when you see that your plexiglass is blue. For the protection of the plexiglass during travel, it's got a blue film on it that just gets peeled back, and then you have no scratches when you receive it.
Kelly, let's go around and line our posts up with the deck. We want to keep them about a ½ inch back from the face, all right?
Okay. Gotcha. Looks good, Bob.
It's perfect here.
Great.
We're ready to fasten the posts down to the deck. So I'll start here. There, tight.
And place your rail support block in the center in between the two posts. And make sure to screw it down. Keep it solid.
Morning, Kelly. Another beautiful day out here today.
You bet it is, Bob.
I think by the end of today, we're going to have this gazebo completed.
For sure we will.
So let's get at it.
Okay. Now that we've got our walls tied together, it's time to drop our headers into place. We selected them when we set aside our rim joists. The headers are designed perfectly to fit into the notch cut into the top of the posts. There we go.
I found it's best to start over the entranceway. What you want to do is line up the edge of your header with the center of your post.
So once you've got this header in place, we take the next header and we butt it up against that one. Work your way around your gazebo until all your headers are in place.
Okay, Kelly, we're ready for top rail skirting.
Okay, remember we assembled these when we assembled our rail sections. What we do now is we want to put them in between the posts and we want to butt them right up to the header and screw them into the header as well as to the post. Might take a good whack to get it in there, but it's nice and snug and that's what you want.
Well, Kelly, let's square up the posts.
Okay, we've got the level here. Looks pretty good. I'll get that for you.
We can fasten, Kelly, from the back side or from the top side if we want to hide our screws a little bit more.
Yep.
But that's a good job. That looks level. We'll go around and do that, and then we're up onto the roof. If you're scared of heights, ask your mother-in-law to help. Or if your ladder's a little wobbly.
There you go. Select a long rafter and position it notched down. Then affix the flush end to the core block. Make sure the top of the core block and the top of the rafter are flush, and then screw it in. There we go.
Just like that. We're ready to put the first one up.
Okay. This is when a helper is definitely necessary. You take the core block attached to your rafter into the center of the gazebo and raise it to approximately here, above the header.
Place the seat cut flush on the top of the header and just tack it down.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go around to the other side, Kelly.
Alrighty?
Probably noticed, Kelly, we started the screws on the ground. It's way easier than trying to do it up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make sure this seat cut is flush on the header, and I'll just tack this down.
Okay. Okay, and we got to make sure that this is flush on the top of the core block, as is the other one. And then we'll tack it down. And then we just put it in like that. Okay,
Perfect.
nice and flush.
We're going to carry that pattern right all the way around, but not all the gazebos are exactly the same configuration, so look at your manual for detailed instructions.
Keep in mind, this is an 8-sided. If you have a 4 or a 6-sided gazebo, you'll have short roof rafters. With the 8-sided gazebo, you have center roof rafters. For the center roof rafters, you want to put them flush into the core block and drill them into the long roof rafters. At the header end, they sit midpoint between the two long roof rafters. And you want this flush, and then you're going to tack it down. Okay, Bob?
You bet. Now we've finished placing all the center roof rafters. We're going to go down now and attach our fascia so we can permanently affix our long roof rafters to their exact placement. We'll use the fascia to determine the exact placing of our long roof rafters. Get Kelly to start one end there.
Okay.
Make sure it's flush with that V in your long roof rafter. Like okay, we like to use a nice finishing nail for that. Now that Kelly's got that place secure, remember we just tacked our long roof rafters in place, and we're going to determine the exact position now by loosening our long roof rafter. And we're just going to jiggle it a little bit so our fascia is lined up exactly with that V in our long roof rafter, and we'll fasten it back down. We can drive it right home now. We'll attach the fascia and it'll be a perfect fit.
For those assembling a two-tier roof, follow the previous instructions, then construct extra frames for mounting on your rafters. Ready?
That's right, Kelly. These are the pieces that are your extra framing material. A 2x2, a 1x2, and 3 blocks. All we're going to do is lay them out like this, and do a one about in the middle, and one this in. Okay, Kelly, this is what it's going to look like when we've got it screwed or nailed together, however we like to do it. And the 1x2 is going to be the part that sits on our long roof rafter. We'll fasten down like that. This will be the top. Also, if we bought this as original option, we would have used a long core block. It would already be installed. If you've purchased this extra framing as an option after you've constructed the original gazebo, you'll have to chop this core block off so it's flush with the bottom here.
Okay, Bob, you want to screw that down up there?
You betcha. Okay, we've got this one in place. Go all the way around, same thing. Every long roof rafter, put one of your extra framing pieces on top. Kelly, you ready for roof rails?
You bet I am.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, these come already assembled for you in your kit, so that makes it nice and easy. And what you want to take note of is the angle cut here, and you want to pull it in and just slide it up until it fits. And you want the tops to be flush. Okay, so you pull it in nice and snug like that, and you want to maintain it flush here. And then you just tack it down. Tack it into the long roof rafter.
So let's fasten this one down, and we'll go all the way around, right? If we have any problems, we can always go back to our manual, have a look, because it's all in there.
Okay.
All right.
Depending on the module purchased, either tongue and groove or batten sealing will have been supplied. Identify and compile all the elements needed for your roof. Don't forget, the exposed or the good side faces inward, whichever you choose, whether it be the rough side or the smooth side. So choose them accordingly. Okay, Bob, you want to nail that?
We'll fasten that down there. Center your long roof rafter.
Yep, perfect.
Flush with the outside. Good.
There we go.
We're now going to use the spacer blocks that were in your kit to get the exact spacing for your battens. You want to make sure your batten's not past the center of your long rafter. Is that okay there, Kelly?
You bet. Lines up just nice.
We'll tack that down. We'll take our spacer block. We'll move it up to the next one. Make sure our batten isn't past the center of our long roof rafter, and we'll carry on all the way through this pie and around the gazebo. Now we're going to attach the T&G roof sheathing. It's very similar to the battens that we have seen, except we're not going to use spacer blocks. We're going to put these tight together, tap them down, make sure they're snug, and we can do 2 or 3 at a time before we have to nail them. They're not going to go anywhere.
Lay the tongue and groove into equal triangles. The tongue and groove will lay perfectly. Make sure the tongue is securely in the groove. Now that we've got something to fasten our shingles to, you need to get your skill saw, your shingle template, and cut about 144 shingles. Once you start with this shingle, you go through the course of the shingles from the beginning to the end. And they're a little uneven in size, so each row will be different. But once you keep doing it, it gets a little bit easier as you move your way up.
That's right, Kelly. It's kind of like putting a little bit of a puzzle together, isn't it?
You bet it is. It's fun though.
Yeah. What we're going to do with the first one is, we've cut those angle pieces. We're going to start here. We don't want to go past the center of our long rafter. We're not going to be too particular about that because later on we're going to put ridge cap on. It's going to cover anything that's going to be out. So let's give it a 1/2 inch here. Okay, on this first course, we can nail it fairly low here because we don't want the wind to pick this up, right? After the first course, we're going to be nailing higher up, but we'll show you exactly where to nail after this. Go ahead.
Okay.
Get 2 nails in each shingle. All right, we've finished our first course here. What we're going to do now is grab another starter piece, one of those 144 that we cut, more or less. We're going to come down, keep it flush with the edge of the other one because you didn't go past the center of your long roof rafter. We want to go another 1/2 inch, 1/4 to 1/2 inch below the ones that we've just done, and we can tack that there, Kelly.
Okay. Thank you.
Now the thing is though, we're going to have this is going to be exposed, so we want to be at least 7.5 inches up with our nails.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha. Out there?
A little higher. There we go.
Okay.
Because now when we put our third course on, that shingle is going to cover our nail heads, so it'll be just pure shake showing on the outside.
Okay.
As we're puzzling our shingles together, we want to make sure that we don't run into a situation where the end of our course of shingles lines up right exactly with the course of shingles above it. We want to make sure we have at least 1 inch overlap. So we're going to put this one aside for now. We'll grab a little wider one and we'll put that in there, and then we'll carry on all the way along. Every course, try and keep that in mind. Never put a joint on top of a joint. Okay, Kelly, we're ready to go on our third course. What we want to do is measure 7.5 inches up. We'll just slide that back down a wee bit.
Okay.
There we go. And you can either mark a chalk line or put a board. I prefer to put a board all the way across, measure 7.5 inches. And notice that we've covering our nail heads here. So go ahead, tack that down. Then continue 1 course at a time up the triangle, go to the next, work your way all the way around. Okay, Kelly, we're ready to start our ridge cap.
Great.
We've been up the roof quite a while now, puzzling for the afternoon.
You bet.
We're getting used to the height. What we want to do is take 1 ridge cap, line it up with our long roof rafters. You want to have as straight a line as possible.
Okay.
Same as our first course of shingles, we can nail this one right down here.
Okay.
If you want, you can tack it down there, but put 1 nail on either side. We'll grab 1 more course, and we'll slide that just past the end there, about 1/2 inch, just like we did before. Beautiful.
Well, that's a bit more than 1/2 inch, but
Yeah.
there we go. How's that?
Perfect. This one we want to make sure that we're again 7.5 inches up with our nail because this is going to be exposed. Grab
Okay.
1 more.
Okay. And that one we want
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. Well, what I usually like to do, Kelly, is it saves me measuring if I just line them up with these courses because I already know these are 7.5, right?
Great. Okay,
So
gotcha.
let's do that.
Good idea.
Let's save.
Yeah.
Let's get the tape measure out.
You bet.
All right.
Especially when you're up top.
Yeah. Kelly, we'll continue this all the way up to the top.
Okay.
And we'll do all the ridges, 6 or 8, depending which gazebo kit that we got.
Okay.
And when we get to the top, we'll show you how to put the cap on, right?
Okay.
All right.
Great.
While Kelly's up on the roof finishing the ridge cap, I'm going to show you how to assemble the cupola, if that's an option that you've taken. I've gathered all the pieces here. You notice the bevel cut through here. There's a flat board in the face of it. We want that down. So make sure when you put them together, you put the 2 beveled edges on the inside like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to screw them from behind. You can nail them if you prefer. Just like that. We'll do top and bottom. And we'll grab our next one. This flat piece in the bottom, bevel edges together. And we'll go around, screw all 6 or 8 sides, depending which gazebo you have. I finished assembling all the cupola pieces. It's going to look something like this. at this stage of the game. We're now going to put the lid on. There's a larger lid and a smaller lid. First do the larger lid. You just want to go around and center it so that your joints here line up with your joints and your panels from your cupola. That looks pretty good, about the same overhang all the way around. Here you might want to measure, or I usually done it enough now, I can guess pretty good, but this is going to line up right with my post. Continue on, put at least 6 screws in to hold this cap down. Once you got that done, you got a smaller cap. We're going to place this right on top, trying to line these lines up again. This small cap comes with every unit, so it's in the base kit. If you have a cupola option, you'll just have the larger lid plus these pieces. This already you'll have in your unit. And we can just screw this down or nail it down, whichever you prefer. Okay, just before Kelly finishes putting the ridge cap on, we want to place our cupola. We want to center it on the roof. So, Kelly, can you just
pull it
move
forward a bit?
Pull it forward. We want to line our V joints up with our long roof rafters again, all the way around.
We got it. We got it in the back and in the front. There we go.
There we go. We want to do is fasten it down with 6 screws, minimum of 6 screws, and we're all here. Now, Kelly, what do we do with the ridge?
Okay, the ridge caps, you want to maintain the pattern going up. You've got 7.5 inches between each lip. So what you want to do is maintain that as you go up, and then cut the last one according to the spacing that you achieve, like that. Okay? And then make it fit nice and flush.
Looks excellent. I think we're just about done, Kelly.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you bought a screen kit for your gazebo, all the components will be in that kit, including the framing material and all the screen. What you want to do is put your frames together first, and then attach the screen to the back and cut it off to fit. Also, you'll have soffit boards like this. Well, these are going to go in between your long rafters and your center joist, and they're going to keep the bugs from getting in through the top of your gazebo. Or they'll be cut, or if you have short joists, they'll be a little different board. Kelly, what are we going to do with that screen? How are we going to install that?
With the screens, we just want to slide it up top. Now, if it doesn't fit, you just do a slight turn one way or the other, because one side is a different length than the other. Depending on the gazebo, there's usually about 1 inch or 2 difference.
We just like to fasten it with screws, because that way if you want to take them off or you want to clean them or you get a rip in one, you can just easily detach it and take it aside.
All of us at Cedarshed Industries would like to thank you for choosing our gazebo. We know it will serve you faithfully for years. Cedarshed Industries also carry an extensive line of garden structures. Our panelized buildings come complete with all hardware. Most models assemble in 1.5 hours once the floor has been leveled. The floor is 7/16 sheathing material with cedar joists spaced 12 inches apart. Framing of the wall, panels, and roof rafters is 2x2, which has been graded as an exceptionally high standard. The door is pre-hung. The walls are covered with kiln-dried Western Red Cedar, making these Cedarshed structures a lovely addition to any yard. The roof panels are completely panelized with roofing felt and cedar wood shingles included, unlike many panelized buildings which usually do not include a floor nor any finishing roofing material. Ask your local retailer for more information on our product line or visit our website at cedarshed.com.